Hey, what's up guys? Coach Mac, Play Fast Football. Okay, today we're going to do a video on third down presentations, and I'm going to take you through an odd presentation that we will be looking at, and it described to you what happened last year and what I did last year. Make sure you check out some of our partners, GameStrat, Sideline Replay System. We use it at Bishop Kenny High School. Also used it at my previous high school when I was a head coach. Highly reliable, highly affordable. Make sure you check out GameStrat. Everybody's making a switch. Great customer service. Give them a look. There's a link in the description box below. You can click to go straight to their website. Dome Hats, Headwear company we use at Bishop Kenny High School and with Play Fast Football. Completely customizable. You go online, you build your own hat. Change the enclosures, snapback fitted, Velcro. You can change the lids. They make the Versa lid. You can bend them, flat bill. Everything is customizable, so make sure you check out Dome Headwear. Baker Sporting Goods company we use for our players' gear, our coaches' gear, sideline gear. Uniforms are distributed from them. We have team stores with them. Make sure you check out Baker Sporting Goods. JustPlay, the software we use, playbook software we use for our playbooks. I use it for my Patreon site. Anytime I'm doing presentations, I use it. We use it for our installs. It's a unique teaching tool with quizzes on playbooks and game plans. You can use videos, you can use diagrams for your quizzes. Really easy to use, so make sure you check them out. DifferenceUSA, the ultimate striking machine. We have 2 or 3 in our weight room here at Bishop Kenny High School. I had them at my previous school. You could set them up in the weight room. You could set them up out on the practice field if you wanted to put some 2x4s or things that you could cement into the ground so that they can stay permanent on the practice field. We use them in our weight room. Thousands of reps, don't need a partner. Elbows in, thumbs up, striking mechanics, eyes, hips, all the things you need to do to develop the skill for proper striking. So make sure you check out DifferenceUSA. Okay, so for a little while as a high school coach, I was not the biggest fan of third down presentations. And when I'm talking about presentations, I'm talking about getting into maybe the sim world, the creeper world, you know, the exotic stuff that you see on Saturdays and Sundays. And the reason for that was I thought that more of our third downs in high school were third down scenarios where run was still an option, right? So when you study all the third down presentations in college and the NFL, it's all these exotic looks, but it's almost always working in pass coverage and generating some type of rush against or versus the pass and rushing the quarterback, right? So obviously there's down and distances for that. But I just felt like in high school, our down and distances for obvious passing situations were a lot different in college. I thought ours needed to be third and maybe 7 or 8 or more because I played plenty of teams where third and 6, they still run the ball, right? Well, in college, I think, or even the NFL, I think analytically, statistically, they get it narrowed down to where like third and 4 or more is 80% pass or whatever it is. So they're working on all their third down presentations, right? And then during the recruiting process now, college guys are coming in, and my head coach was talking to a couple guys yesterday, and one of the offensive line guys said, yeah, that's all it is now, is it's all these third down presentations. So I didn't buy into it until last year. The first game that we lost, 6th or 7th game of the year, we gave up 29 points in the second half, ended up losing on the last play of the game, lost 32-31 on the last play, and then the team went for 2. Great plan by them in the second half. Not a great job of adjusting to some things by me, but what really hurt was our third down deal. I used a lot of our base principles, some of our 3 under 3 deeps, our 4 under 2 deeps, some of our man-free stuff, send in 5, some 0, send in 6, and I really didn't have anything else in my third down package. And from that game on, I kind of changed and I went to some different presentations on third down. But what I did was I did it from a different personnel group, and I did it from an even look, and we're a odd front, tight 3 high team. And I think if you study a lot of college and NFL football, what you'll find is a lot of the odd front teams do their third down presentations from even fronts, and a lot of the even front teams do their third down presentations from odd fronts, because if you're carrying both of those, which in college and the NFL, obviously they're carrying multiple fronts and multiple presentations, but if your structure on base downs is odd, then it makes sense to make your pass rush presentations even, because now the other team's got to prepare for your odd stuff on base downs and then your even stuff on other downs, right? Because you're presenting different fronts. So what I wanted to do is I want to get into a world where I can use my same personnel, all right? And I want to be able to present those third down presentations, a lot of those mug looks, to where we can carry a couple different things that we can do on third down. So the first thing I think that you need to be able to do is if you're going to carry a presentation with some players mugged, all right, and you're going to get 6 or 7 guys near the line of scrimmage, I think at some point you got to bring 6 or 7 guys, right? So the first one we would look at, okay, is from a mug look, and I would use the middle safety up for us in one of our mug looks because our middle safety is a returning player. He's 6'1", 205 pounds, really is a hybrid linebacker, runs really well. We blitzed him last year a bunch in the A and B gaps. He can blitz, he can rush the passer, but he's also a coverage guy, right? So he's going to be one of our guys in the mug presentation. So the first thing I would look at is the ability to send 6, okay? So the ability to send 6. And now what we would do is we would rotate towards the Sam, pop the middle safety out, bail the corners, okay, and we would present one of our 6-man hot pressure looks. All right, that would be one of our deals because I think if you're going to present a mug look with 6 or 7 guys at the line of scrimmage, I think the first thing you need to do is you need to be able to send those 6 or those 7 that are near the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, it's all just a presentation if all of them don't show, right? So one of the first things we would do is we would give the mug look, pop one of the guys out, middle safety would pop out to be a hot dropper, rotate towards the Sam, get the Sam involved, and we would bring 6, all right, in our hot pressure. Now we run 6-man hot pressure, eyes pressure. I think Kirby Smart talks about it as they call it eyes coverage, or they call it, you know, their eyes pressure. We run 6-man hot coverages, 2 under, 3 deep. We've been running it for a long time. Most of the time we'll do it from press corners and bail, and we'll try and spin safeties to get a rotation. It's a little bit different now with our middle safety. I think we have some better hot looks or 6-man hot pressure looks with our middle safety, some different rotations. So we do that anyway, so it's part of our base package, right? So it's something that we would do from the mug look because, again, I think the biggest deal in the mug looks personally is if you're going to show these looks, I think you've got to bring all those guys if you're going to be effective in those. Because if you show these looks and you're always spinning out of them, then I think in time the offense starts to figure, all right, that's just a presentation, that's just a look. They're popping out, guys are dropping out, they're not sending everybody. So the first thing I think you need to do is create the presentation. And again, for us, this is our odd stuff. So what I've done is I've taken a nose and I've bumped them all the way over towards a 3. And I've moved my 2 tight ends, all right, sorry, not tight ends, but my tight front ends, my 4 eyes, my end and my anchor. I've moved them out to 5s, and now I've mugged the Will the Mike in the middle safety, B gap, A gap, A gap. Okay, so I'm presenting that. It's my odd front personnel, but I'm presenting almost that double 3 tech, double A gap look, right, that everybody presents all the time. So probably looks more evenish maybe with 2 mugged A-gap players. I don't know how the offense would interpret that. Okay, but the first thing we would do is we would send 6, play our hot coverage. Now the next thing we would do is we would only send 4, and we would try and play a normal coverage. So the next thing we would do is we would only involve 4 in the rush. Okay. So I'm only going to involve those 4. I'm going to drop the Mike, we cook. The middle safety is going to run 3 vertical. The Sam's going to drop strong side hook curl. All right, now I'm going to play the flat with the corners, and I'm going to rotate out and play the half with the 2 safeties. So now instead of spinning down, bringing the Sam, now we're going to drop the Sam out, drop the Mike and the middle safety out, okay, and get to a cover 2 look, right? So we showed the presentation of mug pressure, 6 up there, all 6 coming, all right, or 5, 1 pop out, 6 coming from depth, however you want to look at it. So we showed the ability to give that presentation and send pressure. Now we're going to show that presentation, but we're going to drop out, and this is cover 2 for us, standard cover 2, old school cover 2, Tampa 2, trying to get the middle safety. Middle safety for us is a 3 vertical player in most of our defenses anyways, so this is nothing new for him. Obviously right now I've got drawn up 2x2 tight end flank into the boundary. Let's say if this was the boundary and that was the field. So I've got 2x2 drawn up, so 3 is going to be where the back is, so he's going to drop to that side. If it was 3x1, which we ran it last year against 3x1, he would have to drop underneath 3 and make sure he can run with 3 vertical to take some pressure off the safeties. We have trapped the flat with the corners. We've also jam funneled old school cover 2 with the corners. We did it both ways last year. Corners are a little bit shorter, a little bit smaller last year for us, so jam funnel wasn't always the greatest because there's not a lot of length there. The receivers were taller, a little bit, had more length than we did, so the jam technique wasn't the greatest, so sometimes we trapped the flat or we played it from a softer off look and sat in the flat, okay, but it was basically a cover 2 presentation. All right, and then I think the other one that you're probably gonna want to get into is some type of man coverage deal, all right, with a peel or a pop. So the big one that everybody likes to run is, and you could change the pass up here if you wanted to, but you know the big one that everybody likes to run, all right, would be, and one that I'm going to look at next year, all right, is going to be a 5-man pressure, playing man on skill receivers, all right, or 4 wides or 3 wides and a tight end or whatever, and we're going to peel the back, all right, but then we're also going to use underneath pop-out cut players, however you want to look at it. So based off which way the center turns, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to play this in man here. We're going to play the safety in man on 2. We're going to play the safety in man on 2. We're going to play the corner in man on 1. We're going to use the Sam linebacker to the field if the ball's on a hash mark or to the passing strength as an extra eyes dropper, vision and break guy. Try and take away hot throws, try and help inside releases depending on what the formations are. All right, obviously it would be game plan specific. And then what we're going to do is off the turn of the center, okay, so we're going to have the Mike in the middle safety up, ready to go in the A-gap. Whichever way the center turns, the other guy's going to pop out away from the Sam and be an extra eyes player, a cut player, try and take away hot throws. So now if the back was on this side, I would assume that the center was probably going to turn away from the back. Doesn't have to, but that's what we would assume. So if that happened and the center turned to the Mike, all right, so if the protection was away from the back and the center turned that way, the middle safety will keep coming in the A-gap to give us a 5-man rush. The Mike will then pop and be the eyes player to the weak side. So now I'm man coverage with 2 underneath cut players. I'm sending a 5th. And then what we would have to look at is, do we want to peel the edge guys? Or do we want rushers? So if these are my ends and I want them to rush, now my eyes players would have to handle any back out. Right? So again, any back that gets out, my eyes players are going to have to handle that. Now, we could peel it because, in theory, let's think about this. If they're a team that's set up this way, now they could full slide it, all right, and get 6 on your 6 or 5 on your 5, however you want to look at it. If the back were to release out and the center turns and the middle safety keeps coming, okay, the only way they could pick that up is if they left the tight end on the backside in and they full slid the protection away from that tight end. Okay, well, if that's one of their protection deals, then I'm probably going to change up where I'm bringing pressure from if they're a full slide team. But if they're a half slide team and the center slides or turns away from the back, well, now the middle safety is going to get a run in the A-gap. We know we're going to get an A-gap runner based off the center's turn. Okay, so if the center turns and we get the A-gap runner, then my end peeling on the back isn't as bad with an eyes player behind him. Okay, because that ball's probably coming out pretty quick, so it's not like he's going to have to peel and cover a wheel. But if you don't like that, and you want your coverage guys to cover, well then to the side of the back, let the eyes player, the cut player, the vision and break player, let him handle the back out and let your ends keep rushing. Okay, so 2 ways to do it. A lot of times college, NFL guys, you see a lot of peel pressures, 6-man presentations, 7-man presentations, because they know as soon as they double mug A-gaps, most of the time, and even like in the NFL, the big deal you start seeing now is they walk the back up in the A-gap to protect that blitz. Well, if he's walked up there to protect that blitz, you know he's not going to release, so there is no peel. So the theory of the peel, which makes some people nervous, I don't know if I like my end out there on the back. Or all right, well, if your presentations are correct, then the back's probably not getting out a bunch, especially in half slide protection, because the back's going to have to protect away from the center. If they're going to throw hot with double mugged A, that ball's coming out right now because somebody's free. Even if they full slid it away from the back, in this drawing right here, one of these two, if they full slide it, now the end player is going to be free. All right, so again, if they were a full slide team, I may change my presentation and try and get guys off the edge away from the slide. But if they're a half slide team, then the mug, they got pressure, and those looks are the ones that you probably want to be using. And then you definitely want to carry something to where you can pop out off the turn of the center. All right, so just a couple different things. I now believe that you need third down presentations in high school. Again, I admit that I did not believe that. I thought I could play third downs in my base looks. I thought I could play them 300 3 deep, 400 2 deep. I thought I could play them man free. I thought I could play them zero. I thought I could play them base. And got to a point where, and I think it was a combination of two things. Number one, we were playing really good defense, so we got into a lot more third downs where we could use these presentations. That's number one. Number two, a team actually came back and beat us using, all right, some of these situations that I didn't handle with my base look, so I learned by example. Ended up losing a game, first game of the season that we lost. And like I said, hats off to the team that beat us. Shame on me for not being better prepared. So from that point on, we came up with third down presentations. I used a personnel group to do it. And in hindsight, this year I want to do it from my base personnel group because now my third down presentations, I thought week 7, 8, 9, 10 were good. I thought they were better. I thought they helped us. But then I brought in personnel and I subbed it out. So now you kind of knew when I subbed it out, you were getting one of those presentations. All right, so obviously with the same personnel, if I give you the mug look, you realize that you're getting that presentation. But I could also show mug and back out if it's my same personnel. There's different ways that you can protect what you're doing, especially when you have the same personnel on the field. All right, so hopefully that helps you guys understand a little bit about third down presentations, what teams are doing now. It's huge in college and the NFL. Third down's down, those guys got to win. They know statistically, analytically, 3rd and 4 or more is going to be 80% pass or whatever it is. So their deal now is anytime you study any of those guys, how do we create looks to get a pass rush sending only 4 and dropping 7? All right, that's really the deal, right? So one of the deals I showed you was a look and bringing it. Another deal was a look and dropping 7, right? That's their deal. They've studied it the last couple of years. They used to be man-free teams. They used to be man under 2 deep teams. They got to a point where they had to figure out we've got to create a matchup that we like in protection, using the offense's protection on film against them, get the matchup we want, but still be able to drop 7 guys out. That's the theory behind, the Sims and the Creepers and that world. But my deal is if you're going to show a presentation on third down with a bunch of guys at the line of scrimmage, you better be able to bring a bunch of guys too. Otherwise, it's just smoke and mirrors. So hopefully that helps you guys with third down presentations. If you are not a subscriber, please click that button and subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell, turn the notifications on so you know every time we go on YouTube Live or we do a new video. Thumbs up, thumbs down if you like it. Don't like the content or how I deliver it. It helps me with the videos I'm doing. It helps me change some of the presentations. I know that there's idiosyncrasies. One video, a guy said I rub my hands too much. Another video, somebody said you use yeah, okay, or whatever it is. Yes, I know they're there. Thumbs up, thumbs down lets me know if you like it. If you don't like it, we've got to make changes. As always, leave a comment. If you leave a comment, I try to respond to every comment that's there, right? So hopefully in the off season, it's clinic season. Thought I was going to have a chance to speak at the Nike Coach of the Year in February, but it looks like I probably will not be doing that, but the schedule is very good for that clinic, and I think we're going to be attending, so I will be there either way. I know I said I was supposed to be speaking, but if I don't speak, excuse me, I'm still going to be there, so I would like to see some of you guys that are there, network with some of you guys if you're there. Hopefully the off-season's going good for you. Playoff games are going on right now. College is over, but there's still football on, so hopefully you're enjoying that. I appreciate everything you do for me and play fast. Remember, you won't play well until you play fast, and I'll see you guys next time.